Fellas, let's talk about why I level this thing. Typically, it's for aesthetics, but not my case. I want to talk about what I want to talk about in this video is why I did it instead of what I did. Hopefully that makes sense. Just because one says this is the best thing for me doesn't mean it's the best thing for you. So follow along. For me, aesthetics probably in third or fourth place. It does look better, but it's not the main reason. Ooh, that's in my truck there, jaking away. So what I do, I went with Thorn Springs 1 3/4 lift, 5100 Bilstein shocks, and just going down the road for a good road, there's hardly any difference from stock. Now, when you hit some potholes, some imperfections in the road, that's when it starts shining, and the bigger stuff is where it really shines. If I had to put a conservative number, it would be 35 or 30% improvement ride quality up front. The front suspension actually works. You know, you go through speed bumps and stuff, whoops, and your front end moves instead of a board wagon. So that's my first and foremost. Now, I do haul goosenecks. Most of the time they're light, but sometimes they kind of get a little too heavy. But these 5100s handle the truck, handle the weight far better than what the stock ones are. So if you're average Joe, you just go down the road and you stick to the road. Yeah, there's benefits for this, but it's not night and day. Now, when you have a load on you and you hit some imperfections, what a world of difference. Or if you live around Washington, the roads suck out here. You got a lot to gain from a little bit of improvement on the spring. So the spring actually works, and the shock actually softens a good blow versus the stock one that gets overpowered. Now, the setup, I don't know in the video how it looks, but this setup's about an 1.25 inches higher in the rear still versus the front. So I love the rake look. This is a working man's truck. Most of the time it's a passenger vehicle, and all of a sudden I'm hauling a pallet in the bed or a gooseneck behind it. So it kind of has a lot of shoes to fill. Another main reason I did what I did, and I think I'm going to need at least an 1 3/4 inches. I lifted as far as I think I would be okay with. So I don't like lifted trucks as far as work trucks go. So keeping the rear end factory with only assist airbags. The airbags are not there to lift it. The airbags are just for it to hold its position. Because it's a working truck, right? I work out of the bed of it, sometimes a pallet or a part or something. Anyways, I don't get those lifted, jacked up trucks as a work truck. Now, there's nothing wrong. There's no problem jacking up your truck, and you just use it as an automobile. But if you try to work a lifted truck, don't make sense to me. Anyways, I'm trying to fit 35s in here, not your 35 by 12 and a half, but your 295, 65, 20s for capacity reasons, for weight capacity reasons. And I absolutely love that size. I love my Falcons. Well, I love for what they do to me. I like the way Toyo looks, and Nitto's better. But for what Falcons do, that's what's going on here. Mama made fun of me. I've said it in my other videos. So I went out and ordered rims. When you order from American Forces, they're built to sell kind of situation. They're not sitting there on a shelf waiting for you. You put in your order, they build them for them, they ship them, so you're about 6 weeks out. So that's my situation, why am I not running my 35s or my 295, 65, 20s. So that's that. I have a feeling the wheels will be here in about a week or two. As soon as the wheels come in, I already have the tires in, we'll throw those on. The lift is for the clearance. So these are 285 60s, 20s, and I'm going 295 65 20. So I expect about an inch, and I think it's going to get pretty close, but it should not touch. Now this thing is getting you can't help it, man. Ram, just their sheet metal is so horrible. There's so much weaves in the back, factory weaves. Anyways, it's getting aftermarket mud flaps, the typical mud flaps. I go, local shop makes them. So based off my offset, I'm gonna put my mud flaps there. I have a good guesstimate, but I'm still gonna wait off till the wheels come in. Like I said, it'll be here in about a week or two. We're not slammed, so I'm not running a lot of highway where it's beating up the truck, but I'd still like to see them there. One thing I put in a black little tip there. This is a cur hitch. So that's the idea. That's going to be the finished product of this truck. I'm not going to do anything else with the suspension. For the curious ones, as far as airbags, these are 7,500 Firestones. I went with a 52 gal SMD fuel tank. That's a must. It's conversation for another time. But all in all, for the suspension, this is what I have. How does it ride? Front end's phenomenal. Back end still bucks. It's still still a leaf sprung, and I'm not gonna go with the softer spring because when I load it, and sometimes I load it, I need a truck. I don't need another TRX in my life as far as suspension goes. And these pedal hitches get pretty heavy on the tongue, so I'm not going to do anything there. Well, this will change up the game a little bit. Right now, I'm just maintaining, 25 PSI in the bags, just so I could get away with most of my stuff, so I'm not inflating or deflating. But I am getting an onboard air compressor, heavy-duty air compressor, so I could air up trailer tires, but it'll have a gauge and an inflate and deflate. So once that system gets installed, I'll probably run 10 PSI when I'm driving around. The flip of a switch, I could bump it up to 30, 40, or 20, whatever I need. So that is going to change a little bit. Other than that, it's pretty much close to home the way I'm going to run this truck. So what am I trying to say here? It looks good. To me, this is a perfect setup. I still have an inch rake in the back. 1.25 inches, I think it is. It's perfect. I couldn't ask for anything better. I would not go any taller on the front, but I wouldn't go lower because of my clearance issue. I feel like it's going to come pretty close with those 295s. Would I recommend this to average Joe? Absolutely. This is a 2025, and I don't know why Ram does what they do. They overkill it on the springs, and there's no movement in that front end. It just runs, rides like a board wagon. So hopefully that kind of explains why I did what I did. I'm kind of on the fence about putting a little toolbox and a fuel in the back, but I feel like for what I need, that would be perfect. A little 40, maybe 50-gallon fuel toolbox combo, so I stay in front of the wheel wells. Because if I ever haul anything in the back, it's usually a pallet. The last 5 years, I think we try to put 2 pallets in a lot. It just doesn't make sense. 95% of my stuff, it's just 1 pallet. Anyways, so that's it, guys. As always, may the good Lord bless you, and may you all mighty fine day. And yes, I'm excited to get those American Forces on there, the 35s. I think it would be perfect. Ciao. Bye.